Peace Squad. Welcome back to our data science bootcamp. And in this course, we are building our funding management app. And we are starting with our dashboards. Okay. So in the last video, we did like a high level mapping. We're gonna actually jump into the weeds of things in this video. All right. So what we're doing is grounding ourselves in delivering insight to our stakeholders. So something that we can deliver to our stakeholders that will be very valuable off gate is the funding goal performance. All right. So this is going to tell their clients essentially how well they're performing at getting their client their targeted funding amount. Okay. So what I'm gonna do next is just walk through each of the charts, and then we're gonna go into where would this data come from and how we'll store this in the database and how we'll ingest this. All right. So if you are looking for hands-on experience, you want a course that gives you hands-on experience working with real-world projects, you are now tuned into an incredible freebie preview course of our full data science bootcamp. And if you guys want to sign up to the data science bootcamp, all you have to do is check the description. To enroll, it is only $2.99 per month for the first 45 students to sign up. All right, let's get into this. All right, so we have our funding performance, our funding goal performance dashboard. The first object that we're looking at here is a card, and it's telling us the total funding goal. All right, so let's go over here into our dashboard. All right. This is like our Canva wireframe version of this. All right. Let's just put in an amount here to like make this more real. All right. Let's since it says 55%, let's assume that okay. That brings me to my first point. Uh I need to do some math really quick. All right. So I'm just going to say it out loud. You guys can't see it on my screen, but I need to do some math and I'll tell you guys why in a second. I'm going to take 15,000 plus 9,000 times zero point 0.5, which is 12,000. So this will be 6,000. Okay. So let's say that this is 6. Oh, actually, shoot, this needs to be times. Hold on. It's not too far. Okay. That is the average. And now we need, oh, it's time 55%. I don't feel like changing that, so I'll just do 0.55. Do I need a zero right there? One, two, one, two. I don't think so. I just need 55. Oh, crap. Times. Okay. And we're back at it. So this will be, I don't know why I just, yeah, okay. This will be 6. Oh, actually. Ah, got it. Got it. Okay. That's how much we've actually accomplished at this point. In progress, potential funding identified. Okay. Got it. This would be the awarded amount. Okay, no problem. So, total funding goal. So this is our, I think 12,000. So I'll explain why this is 12,000 in a second. Give me 1 second. And for this exercise, let's just, okay, actually, we don't even have to assume. This is, I'm about to do some more math in the background for a second. So 2,500 plus 10,000 plus 15,000 plus 5,000 plus 1,000. All right. 33,000. Dang. Okay. Come through limit squeeze marketing. I'll explain what I'm doing in a second. All right, potential funding identified. So this would be, and I encourage you guys, I really encourage you guys to do exactly what I'm doing right now. Experts, when I first got started, told me to do this same thing. To first, they were like, I actually want you to just use a pencil to wireframe out like what like the dashboard is going to look like. And I wanted to jump right into coding. And I really wish I would have just listened, because when I tell you this is going to make your life so much easier, even when you're trying to cook, like say I'm trying to get my manager to buy into this project, rather than me like explaining like this theoretical project, me being able to deliver to him like a wireframe of the dashboard, and I can explain to him exact or her or them exactly how the dashboards work and the type of insight, like the value that it would deliver to the stakeholders, and it proves to them that I've thought through exactly how the app should work, because like there's no way we'd be able to deliver, for example, a data dictionary or what was the other, a data mapping table, if we hadn't thought through each detail. So that's already going to tell our manager we put a lot of thought into this project and we've actually thought through the details. Anywho, all right, so that's the potential funding identified. For funding in progress, let's say that these are in progress. Let's go back to this. Let's say that let's say that we went with our two highest ones. Let's say that these two are the ones in progress. So that is 25,000. So let's just say that that's 25,000. And then yeah, okay, and then okay, I'm glad I did that because that just made me think about the query. Okay, that just made me think about the query. All right, so let's say that these are the ones that are in progress. Okay, so let's say those two are the ones that's in progress and that we actually applied to. Let's say we apply to this one, the biggest one. So let's say we apply to this 5,000 one because that's what we are actually going to do tomorrow. Okay, so let's go back to our wireframe and let's say that's 5,000. And somehow this these need to equal up to 66,000 in the awarded amount. So funding applied. Ooh, this has to be more than that. Okay, hold on. I gotta change this math some. This needs to be more than 6,500. So this, let's say that this is 5,000. Let's say this is 7,000. That's still fine. That's still fine, and that's still fine. I think that should be okay. All right. Let's see. Do I feel like changing these numbers? I don't feel like changing these numbers yet. Ah, fine. I guess I'll change these numbers. So, ooh, hmm. I guess actually, this doesn't matter too much. Yeah, actually, that's fine. I'm gonna leave this as is. All right. So, let me explain what is happening. Right now, the value that we're trying to deliver to our stakeholders is being able to show them essentially like a progress report, a report card of the efforts, right? So this is how effective Lemon Squeeze marketing is at this point in time at identifying funding opportunities for its client, right? This is a way to easily communicate that to the client by with this visualization. Okay. So the first card is the total funding goal. All right. So this is the total amount that our client has told us, asterisk. Okay. So I'm gonna get into the I'm gonna get into the data source in a second because that matters for this card. So this card says the total funding goal. So for now, I'm just going to say that our client has given us information about the total amount that they would like to get in funding. All right. So that's this first card. This next dial gauge thingy is showing the percentage of our goal reached, right? So this in this case would be like $66,000. That means like we would have won them $66,000, right? Because that's 55% of the total funding goal. So this visualization is very helpful in the sense that like in an instance, our client can just like look at this dashboard and be able to understand like where we are in our progress, right? And then it's even color coded. So it even says in our data dictionary and our KPIs like what the different colors even mean, right? So yeah, either way, this is allowing, so this is for Zandra, right? So if Zandra came into this dashboard, she would very easily be able to see, like, okay, as of this date, this is our date slicer. We're at like 55% of our goal, right? That's something she can easily see when she's super busy and not have to take time, like, digging into the weeds of things or even asking us questions. She can easily see that. All right. And she'll have like the amount that she said she wanted to get, right? Potential funding identified. Okay, let's talk through this card for a second. So this is essentially like communicating like, okay, this is like the amount of, let me just go to a real one to explain this. These are the funding opportunity that we've identified for Zandra so far, right? So we started with military scholarships that she's eligible for. We want to communicate to her in some way, like here's the total potential funding that we've identified for you so far. So you'll notice that the this like funding opportunities table, it has the title of the funding source type, so the fact that it's a scholarship, and more importantly, it has the amount. So the potential that you're looking at right here is basically a sum of this. This says up to 5,000, so basically we use that 5,000. So basically, if we were to sum all of the different funding opportunities that we've identified so far, that is, let me go back to our wireframe. That's what this card is communicating. And this, again, I like the fact that we put this into a dollar amount because this is telling our client, right? Like, even though we're only at 55% of our goal, this is like the opportunities. Like, this is how much funding we've at least identified for you so far. Cool. All right, moving on. So funding in progress, what does that look like? All right. So this is a list of funding opportunities that we've identified for her so far. If we were to go into our wireframe, the view that this is referring to is, so this is our main one. Let's go over to our wireframe for a second. So basically, this is the view that we're looking at. This is the view we're referring to, right? So this is the list of funding opportunities. Let's say that we viewed this funding opportunity. Oh, okay. So this is supposed to be a scholarship, right? So this would be like, okay, these are the scholarships we've identified for her so far. So let's say we did view, and then this would have taken us to like, this is supposed to be scholarships, competitions, loan, scholarships. All right. Let me just go ahead and update this while I'm doing this. Supposed to have done this a while ago. Okay, so Matter of fact, let's name these. Let's go ahead and put this into context. All right. This will be very helpful for remember I'm saying like visualizing what you're trying to accomplish like will really help you guys when you're about to start coding. So firstly, let's go ahead and get the scholarship icon. And if you guys wanted to get these templates, all you guys have to do is comment below. And I'll get you guys these templates so that you can visualize this project as well while you're coding. So let's just go in here, and this is our scholarship list view. So this is the scholarships that we've identified for her so far. Where'd that icon go? Where did that icon go? There it is. Let's put this one. So we've identified, I think it was like five of those. So let's copy this. Let's paste this. Oh, it still pastes down there. Got it. Okay, got it. Let's put this here. All right. And guys, make sure you guys are following along. Go ahead and copy and paste your little scholarship hat and put it over in your list view. This will help you when we begin to code this out in future episodes for me, future tutorials. Put this here and let's duplicate this guy. Put this here. All right, cool. I'm only gonna do the first five. And if you guys notice, this is paginated. So if we had more, then this will go to the next page. All right. So when we build this out, this is going to be how Zandra will be able to view her scholarship. This is supposed to be scholarship. 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 All right, cool. So let's go actually into the ones we pulled. All right, shout out to us. Own it, doggone it. And let's go ahead and put these in here. I may pause this recording. Let me see how long it takes me to put this in here. I might pause this recording and then come back once I'm finished. All right, I'll let you guys see the first one. This is what it looks like. I'll change this font. All right, boom. All right, guys. So I'm gonna pause this recording. I'm just gonna fill these in really quickly, so that we can make this as realistic as possible, and you guys know what to do to follow along. All right, so let me find at where is recording? Oh, there it is. All right, pause recording. All right, guys, welcome back. So, what I did was just go ahead and update the names of the scholarship. So these are the actual scholarship that we've identified for Zandra so far. So we have the AMV, oh, I guess it's the AM Vets National Scholarship, the VFW Sports Clips Help a Hero Scholarship, the Pat Tillman Foundation Scholarship, the Wells Fargo Veterans Scholarship, and the Army Women's Foundation Legacy Scholarship. So these are the opportunities that we've identified for Zandra so far. All right. So let's just continue going, like walking through this use case so that we can go into the data modeling. Now, let's suppose now, hold on, and this is supposed to be scholarships. Hold on, that's gonna bother me. Scholarships. And this is really going to help you guys for when it's time for us to code this. I'm telling you, like you'll know exactly what you need to do. All right. So, let's go now into our funding application view. Okay. So this is okay. All right, cool. At least this one's already here. So this is on the database side of things, if I were to go into our wireframe, dee. In this one, it's not quite in this one, is it? I don't know if it's in this one. Um, I know that it is also here. All right. I'll flip back over to our database tables in a second. Or actually, let me show you guys. So here is the table that we're referring to right now is actually our last table, ironically. Okay. Why is this there two times? Why is this there two times? Just been funding application. Maybe I meant to put table in. Okay, so on our database, right? Like in our database, right? We need so we're about to essentially like apply for these scholarships for Zandra. All right. So let's say that I'm gonna skip a few steps and then we'll take a step back and go through the other tables that would build up to us applying for the scholarship. But let's just like end with like begin with the end in mind, right? Because what we're trying, the value we're trying to deliver to Zandra, let's take a step back again. Let's go back to our dashboard. What we want to communicate to Zandra is the fact that, hold on, where's that dashboard? We want to be able to demonstrate to Zandra the fact that we have identified $33,000 in funding, and that we've applied that 25,000 is in progress, and that we've applied. Okay, yeah, I don't know the difference between this. That's going to be interesting. And that we've applied for $27,000 in scholarship information, right? So we want to store uh we want to have a way to store data in a smart way so that it feeds this it feeds this visualization and communicates this information to Zandra. So, what would be the models that we use in order to represent this data? And then further, what would be the queries that we would need to create in order to derive this information? If you were asking yourself that question, that's exactly what we are going to go through in the next video. All right. So, guys, gals, and everything in between. Um, Make sure you guys come back for the next video. In the next video, we're actually gonna go through what tables we're going to use to ingest this data. And then in the next video, we'll go through how the query. So again, if you are a data analyst or like a business intelligence developer, anywhere in that field, they are going to want you to have superior SQL skills. It's something that I actually need to work on. It's one of the reasons why I chose this project. Like you're gonna need really great SQL skills. So if I could choose a language for you to get proficient at, like get proficient at SQL, and that's based off. I don't know what they're telling you guys in school, but this is based off of my actual experience applying for jobs. Right? I've had technical interviews, and the languages that they tested me on, the first one off gate is SQL. Then they also tested me on Python. So just depending on what role you're in, they might test you a little bit on Python. They tested me on machine learning. So I've actually I interviewed for like some Fortune 500 companies within over the last 6 months. And it's the very reason why I've taken a break to just like work on my SQL skills, because they're gonna give you a technical interview. If you get past the first few steps, they're gonna give you a technical interview. You're gonna need to know how to code, and they're gonna give you scenarios like this. and you're going to need to be able to think through, how do I get this information? So in the next video, I hope I've like got your attention. I hope you want to see this full boot camp. If you guys want to check out this full boot camp, all you guys have to do is enroll. We start June the 1st. It is only $2.99 per month for the first 45 students to sign up. If you guys want to sign up, the information is going to be in the description. So if you guys want to see this full video, of exactly where I'm about to walk through step by step, how we're actually going, like the tables that we're going to use, and then the queries that we'll need in order to get this information. Just make sure you guys enroll. Be one of the first 45. All right. Don't be one of the first 48. Be one of the first 45. Okay, cool. I'll see you guys in the next tutorial. All right. Peace. Let's see if I get this right this time. All right. Boom. And